All right, everyone. So I will be the first to admit when I make an oopsie, and I think I've done that. I think the video I made yesterday showing how to make the vise um, was not probably as helpful as I meant it to be. And so because of that, for the example, I'm going to be assembling the vise, and I'm going to be deleting that other video basically as soon as this one launches at 9 a.m. One of the reasons I'm doing this is A, to mend some confusion, B, because I like you all and I want you to do better in this class. Not that you're doing poorly in this class, but I want you to succeed. And I think walking you through some challenging stuff is a good way to do that. And thirdly, because the application for today, which we'll cover later, the vise assembly is due next class. So I think this is a great idea to keep you all going in the right direction and, happy as students in this class. So let's open this up. Oh, this is going to take a second. All right, so we can have a little story time while I do this, or you can just skip ahead, either way. Do I have a story? Rearranged my room yesterday. I brought a couch into my room, which I'm happy about. I'm sitting on that couch right now. Yeah, that's the big thing. We also bought some plants. We planted plants in a little garden outside the other day. That was great. All right, SolidWorks is open. That wasn't much of a story, but whatever. All right, so I opened up my base first. So let's file, make assembly from part. Yay! Woo-hoo! Okay, here we go. Make this. There we go. My computer's being a little slow. It's all right. We give her time. It's not like this is an expensive computer. All right, here we go. So F, it's fixed. We need to float it. First thing we're gonna do, float. Look at that. All right, now we're gonna mate. Even though there's only one part, you might be wondering why we're mating, because we're mating it to the origin. We're taking the origin of our space and the origin of our part and mating them together. All right. And then I'm going to mate the top plane of my part. Actually, no, I lied. I'm going to mate the right plane. This will, your results may vary depending on how you built yours. But I'm going to mate the right plane of my part to the top plane of my piece. Is that going to cause a failure? Yes. Okay. Disregard. I'm not going to do that right now. I may do that at the end. Or something similar. All right, so let's start bringing in some more parts. I'm going to just pop open this folder. All right, do I bring in everything? Do I do what Timber hates? I don't think so. Let's bring in the movable jaw. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in piece by piece, and we're going to mate them up. So I'm going to mate this movable jaw to, where's that coming through? That's coming in right there. Boom. Okay, yes, mate them. And then I'm going to mate this part of the movable jaw down to here. Okay. All right, that movable jaw now works. Now let's insert the movable jaw plate, and 1 and 2 here. Interesting. Well, we'll see if one of these doesn't work. And then I should have a fixed jaw plate. Might as well do that now. Unless maybe it's just 1 and 2. Maybe they're just, doesn't matter. We'll figure it out as we go. We're gonna make things here. All right, so let's get that hole lined up with this hole. Okay. And now I'm going to make, yep. And now I'm going to make this and this. Can I make those parallel? Just coincident? Is that going to break things? No. Perfect. That works perfectly. All right, and do something very similar over here. This guy. Select this hole. All right, and then that and that. Make those parallel. Okay. And I need to actually align this guy. Well, let me choose that face. Just let me choose that. Come on, computer. What are you doing? There we go. That. Right. Just want to be on the other side. Okay, does this still move? It does. We need to make these faces together. Okay, so now to just drag things around for a second. Let's drag this around. Okay, that doesn't move. Drag this around. Well, that moves because the movable jaw is moving. So I don't need to worry about that for a minute. Let's bring in the bushing and that stuff. All right. Let's bring in the bushing. I'll bring in the guide plate as well. Let's bring in a few things here. I'll bring in my compression spring and my screw stop. Do a few things here. Okay, back to that. So let's take this bushing and we'll put it in this hole. Oh, mate. Let's try that again. Take this bushing, put it in this hole. Okay. Move this a little over, move this a little over, and then I'm going to take this part of the bushing, that face, so it sinks in here just right. Okay, and then I'm going to take, because we don't want this bushing to rotate, right? So I'm going to take one of the planes of the bushing. Where is the bushing? There it is. So a plane of the bushing, take the right plane, for example, and then a plane of this part. I'm going to pick I'll take this plane, and I will make those parallel. Okay, and so that's going to keep this bushing from spinning, right? Because it's not going to spin if it's part of the same thing. All right, so now I'm going to take, actually I'm going to bring in, before I work with that screw stop, I'm just going to move this out of the way a little. I'm going to insert some more components here, because this all needs to happen once that screw is in there. All right, so let's insert, actually, why am I inserting components now? Pull that folder up. Make my life way easier. Oh, did I just quit it? It's okay. We can solve this problem together. Device parts. There we go. Come on, SolidWorks. Why's my computer acting up? I gotta restart it. Holy jeez. Okay. Get there. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's pick this up. I think my computer could use a nice big restart. What is this? That's exactly what I need. Okay. Alright, so this is gonna go, I want to chop that in half. Let's see here. Let's move this over here. I'm hoping that these are dimensioned correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the screw stop, and I'm going to put the screw stop right here with a tangent relationship. If I would have selected mate, that would have worked. With a tangent relationship. Okay. That's going to make it look pretty gross right now, but that's all right. I'm going to take the screw. Nope, not that. Come on, drop down. The screw front plane. Actually, maybe not the front plane. What do we have here? Do we have a right plane we can use? It doesn't really matter. Right plane, and then our screw stop. What plane do we want here? I'm going to take the right plane of this as well. And I'm going to make those, see, because what I want to do is I want this thing flipped around, so I'm going to make those perpendicular. Okay, that's done in there. I'm going to run into my, close this stuff up here. I'm going to run over these mates and find that tangent mate. And now I'm going to edit this tangent mate to flip it around, right? Because I want it on the inside there. So flip that tangent mate around. And now I want this just just matched up with that edge right there. Okay, so I know this guy's a little bit out in space right now, but we're about to fix that. Okay, because we're gonna take this face right there. Actually, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take this and make it concentric in this hole that the screw stop goes in. So that is upside down. Can I flip that around? Okay. I can see it in there. That's correct for now. Let's choose yes on that. Okay, now let's see if I put this in here. Okay. If I choose coincident on that, much happier. Alright, fine, I'll do parallel. Okay. So that's now in there. So what I'll do now is I'll take this and make it coincident in here. Let's see how that is. Alright, this is a great time to use the sectioning tool. Allows you to look inside the part. So let's find. I want this section view. Let's come down a little so we can see inside here. Okay, that looks good. Come on. Alright, that's in there as it should be. I'm going to change. I note I can see without doing interference detection that we have an interference here, so I'm going to mate this to this side of it. So let me come in there and redo that mate real quick. So another way to do this, you don't have to use the section tool. You can right-click and then either hide or change the transparency. You can just hide it for a second, and then boom, we're inside of it. It still exists and it still has all the same mates applied. So there's that coincident mate. I'm going to edit this feature because I want to delete that. Actually, I want to delete these both, if I'm honest. Delete them both, and I want to use that face and that face. There we go. I think that'll make this a little happier. And then we can come back over here and show this again. And we may still have a slight interference there, but it's going to be less of an interference. So that'll be better. Again, you might need to edit your components as you assemble them. All right, and then we have to put this spring into the bottom piece here. So let's first mate it. Let's see how we can make this in here. Oh, is this two separate sketches? Oh, it's got a flat face. That makes our life so easy. We can take this screw and we can just put it right on the bottom of that screw stop. And right now I think it's just floating in space. Because I don't see it. So I'm going to flip that around. Okay, now I can see it. Sweet. Okay, now let's take, am I able to put this in this hole? Tangent, no. Okay. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this, because this needs to be lined up with the screw stop, right? Let's make this transparent again. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the plane of the screw stop. We'll take the front plane, and then take it like that. And then this spring is sprung. Where'd you go? Guide plate, compression spring. There we go. And then I'm going to take it doesn't really matter what plane I take as long as it's not the front plane. Let's take that plane. I'll make that up, and then we'll take, what did I just do, the top? Yeah, so I'll do the right plane, and then from here, the screw stop will take the right plane of that. All right, boom. Now this guy can't move anywhere. So let's do a little test of that. Can this move anywhere? How does it still move? It still can move left and right. Okay, so we messed something up. But we just come right back here and made it back up. So we need, from the screw stop, we need its front plane. And then we need, out of the spring, we need its top plane. Top plane, come on, give me that. Okay, let's see that now. That should just move the whole assembly now. Okay, now that's one. Sweet. So mating planes is going to be, an important piece of this. All right, let's make this no longer transparent because now we're done with a lot of stuff that's in there. So we can show this component. Okay, and now we have this plate that goes in the bottom. So let's mate this up. We're going to put that down there. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. And then I want to align this face and this face the other way. Okay. And what I really should have done is I should have aligned these holes first. Yeah, let me take away that mate that I just made, right? Because those holes are more important that they line up. Mates are aligned in order of how you made them, so this will be the bottom mate. That's the one I want to change. Delete. This one. Delete. Let's do that again. Those holes need to line up. Sweet. And then I'll just make these two planes parallel. All right, and you'll notice we have the spring going through here. That's because SolidWorks is not going to compress this spring for us, so the fact that there's interference with this spring is not a huge deal. Okay, now we're getting to the interesting part. Now I need to remember how to have our thread made here. Okay, let's get our screw mate. I think this is 0.125. I'm going to want the direction and then the axis. So, do I have to make an axis for that? Let me see if I can remember this. It's going to be this screw. What am I forgetting here? I need an axis. Do I need to create the axis for that? Stand by 10 seconds as I remember my old one. So I know our revolutions is 0.125 because that's what's defined in this thread profile, right? As I believe our pitch. And then our distance that it's going to go in is from here. Come on, why don't this let me select? It's going to let me select anything? Alright, the SolidWorks is being a little buggy. Don't mind me. Okay, I don't know why it's let me select that helix pattern. All right, I'm going to do this at the end, and hope that SolidWorks is less buggy at the end. For now, let's create our limit mate for our distance here. So we're going to mate this piece to here. And I want to actually, how do I want to do this? I'm going to get rid of that mate real quick. Do I want to figure out my total total amount? No, I'll do that later. But this will be a good test real quick. Where are interferences? Jeez Louise. Come on. Okay. So the only interference right now is this interference down here, which we're allowed to have because that we can't compress that spring in SolidWorks. Okay. Good little thing to note. All right, let's do our... Got a little sidetrack there. Let's do our alignment there. Okay, so I want this to be at a limit distance. Okay, so I want it to be a maximum of, bring this down, easily 6, 0. 8 would also work, but let's try 6. Okay. I'm actually going to limit this in 2 ways, so that shouldn't be that big of a deal, even though it's out there. But this will go all the way down to here, but it'll go all the way over to here. That doesn't really matter because we can then add a limit distance to this face, on this face, and this face. And now we need to limit this distance again between 0 and, I don't know, call it 6 again. Doesn't matter. Okay. So we now have 2 mates that kind of overlap in their limiting, but it won't allow itself to come outside the distance we gave it. So that's how you're going to limit that distance. And then, is that going to give us an error or no? Where's our error? What are you erroring? Didn't like that. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I think I know why. Yeah. I thought SolidWorks was going to like that, and it very much did not like that. Yeah, let me... trying to think of the best way to show you how to do this. Cat's trying to come in. I'm gonna quickly mate this face and this face. You'll see why in a second. So if I mate those two, I know that those are now touching perfectly, and so I can come down. I can quickly get rid of them. And now if I come into my limit distance mate, I know that it's perfectly lined up there, and so I can have this 3.375 be my maximum. Choose yes for that. All right, and now I know coming over here and over to here, that's going to be my maximum. And if I do an interference detection now, I should be able to only have, come on, interference detection. One more time. It should only be that screw on the bottom. Oh, and then inside the bushing, because we still need to do a screw mate on there. All right. Okay, so let's add our screw mate if SolidWorks is gonna like me right now. I want to let me make that. Oh, you highlight purple, Jesus. All right, I think I'm gonna save this. Close SolidWorks. Reopen it. Try and make this mate. I'm gonna see if I can put these videos together. If not, there's gonna be a little 30-second video of me doing the screw mate after this. But I'm gonna end this video now and restart my computer. I'm gonna save this and then restart my computer and see if I can resolve this issue. So excuse me, but you'll see me, instantly right after this.